Okay, so I'm starting with new chapter now, strategic analysis of operating income. Strategic analysis of operating income. So if you have seen the content as per ICMAT, they have this chapter only in the syllabus, wherein they are giving us two chapters, activity based cost management and strategic analysis of operating income. So I have completed one part, now I am coming into second part. In this chapter we study three things. One is strategic profitability analysis. Second, what we study in this chapter is direct product profitability analysis. Third, what we study is customer profitability analysis. So what we are studying is three things. Alright. This too requires use of activity based costing. So if you have learnt ABC, then it is very easy to do this 2 and 3. But this requires use a bit of variance analysis, uses variance analysis, a bit of variance analysis. Okay, so my agenda for the day is to cover with you first point, strategic profitability analysis. Very easy to understand and study. First of all, just take it as a format. Here what we are doing is we are comparing our changes in operating income. We are comparing changes in our operating income or changes in profit from last year to current year. Last year to current year. So for this purpose, what we need first is our last year's profit calculation and current year profit calculation. So this we do item wise, and the items are revenue, less material cost, conversion cost, admin and selling and distribution cost, and then the result is profit. The details of last year profit and current year profit are already given always in the question. Maybe directly it will be given, or you may need to compute by multiplying quantity with rate. So sales quantity is given, selling price is given, you can get the revenue. Material quantity is given, material price is given, you can get the material cost. Okay, so you see here the approach that we are following here, nothing is written besides material. So material is a variable cost, and we assume conversion cost and admin and selling cost as fixed cost, even if it is not directly specified in the question. There can be a labor cost also. There can be a labor cost also in some of the questions. So labor will also be a variable cost. If it is given, it will be a variable cost. Got it? After you have prepared this last year profit and current year profit, what you need to do is basically a new statement called as strategic profitability analysis statement, which will have three new columns which you must prepare in between last year profit and current year profit. The three columns are growth effect, price effect and productivity effect. This will be productivity. Growth effect, price effect and productivity effect. Growth effect, price effect and productivity effect. These are three new columns, growth effect, price effect and productivity effect in between last year profit and current year profit. What is growth effect? Growth effect actually talks about change in volume. Say this is our last year is understood as budgeted volume or budgeted figures, and current year is understood as actual figure. So whatever is change in volume, volume means sales units. Whatever is change in volume is reflected through growth effect. So when we talk about growth effect of revenue, we understand what is the effect of change in volume on sales. Effect of change in volume on sales, and this is simply nothing but sales volume variance. What it is? Sales volume variance. Then we have price effect. Then we have price effect, that is nothing but change in rate or change in price. So change in selling price or change in material price or change in fixed cost price. So here it is sales price variance if we talk about sales. When it is productivity, it is change in quantity of input. See, sales is not connected with input, it's output. So for sales this is not applicable. Blank means not applicable. Okay, so you need not do any calculation for productivity of sales because sales is not connected with input, it's connected with output. Alright, so for materials, the price effect is material price variance. Change in quantity of input is material usage variance. For fixed cost, we assume marginal costing approach. So accordingly, we assume that if volume is changing, fixed cost will not change. Under marginal costing, we assume if volume is changing, fixed cost will not change. So there is no growth effect here. So you need not do any calculation here. If say question nothing specifies about fixed cost, we always assume marginal, and question will never specify other than marginal. So this will not be calculated for fixed cost. Due to change in volume, fixed cost should not change. Then here you are calculating fixed overhead expenditure variance. That is the price effect. Fixed overhead expenditure variance. Fixed overhead expenditure variance is just comparison of budgeted fixed overhead and actual fixed overhead. Here also same, and for fixed overhead also there is no productivity. Quantity of input is only for variable cost. So had labor cost would have been given here, for labor cost we would have computed all three. Like in material cost you can see all three are there. In revenue we have growth price, in fixed cost we have only expenditure. There is one thing that I have deliberately not touched yet, which is this note 2, and this is only something new which we don't do even in standard costing, which is only dealt here. To understand this, I am giving you one example which you can note here. Say last year, that is the budget figure, and in current year, which is the actual figure. Say in last year output is 2000 units and material cost is 50,000 rupees. In current year output is 2500 and material cost is 60,000. Alright. So the question here is, what do you think? Just focus on the growth of output. Due to growth of output, your material cost should increase or decrease. Whenever you will grow your output, your material cost should increase or decrease. What has happened in actual, don't see that. Just tell me whether your material cost should increase or decrease when your output grows. When your output is increasing, your material cost should increase or decrease. So it is obvious that material cost will increase. So if material cost is increasing, it will have an unfavorable impact on profit. Cost increases means unfavorable. Unfavorable means negative value. To show negative value, I will write 2000 minus 2500, not 2500 minus 2000. So my question here is, by how much material cost should be increased? By how much the material cost should have been increased? Can you tell me the answer? By how much the material cost should have been increased? By how much the material cost should have been increased? by how much the material cost should have been increased. So answer is very simple. For 500 units the cost will come, you can write it like this: 5000 is for 2000, 50,000 is for 2000 units, so 500 units you can calculate. 50,000 divided by 2000 into 500, it is coming 12,500, right? So it is an increase in cost, so this is adverse. Or you can write it in a formula which is saying budgeted output minus actual output multiplied by standard material cost per unit of output. You can solve it like this. So budgeted output is 2000, actual output is 2500, then standard material cost per unit of output is 50,000 divided by 2000. 2000 minus 2500 into 50,000 by 2000. It is 12,500 adverse. $12,500 adverse. Got it? So we use this relationship usually, and that is given here in note 2. You can match this with this. BO minus AO into budgeted material cost per unit. Budgeted or standard is same. Per unit of output, sometimes material cost per unit of input is given. Say material quantity is given in kgs and rate per kg is given. That rate you should not take. This is a new rate that you need to compute. Got it? So now by your own you can refer to other variances. It is very easy to understand. In case of sales, when we talk about growth effect, if our volume grows, now apply common sense, if our volume grows, sales revenue will increase and it is a favorable thing. So to bring the favorable thing, it will be AO minus BO. You see here AO minus BO. When revenue is growing, cost is increasing. So cost increasing is an unfavorable incident. So BO minus AO. But when revenue is growing, it is a favorable incident. So to bring the positive answer, it will be AO minus BO. So that's the uniqueness here. So growth effect is clear. For price variance, it is change in price multiplied by actual quantity. Okay. Change in price multiplied by actual quantities. For sales price, you can see change in price multiplied by actual quantity. For material price, change in price multiplied by actual quantity. And for obvious reason, for sales, increase in price is favorable. So we have actual in front. But for material, increase in price is unfavorable. So we have standard in front. And usage variance is change in quantity into standard price. Expenditure variance of fixed overhead is budgeted cost minus actual cost. You don't take rate in fixed cost variances. In fixed cost expenditure variance, it's just the comparison of budgeted amount, that is this amount and this amount, budgeted and actual comparison. So once you find out figures inside this matrix, you can add up this to get the total. So there is some note 3 written in this growth effect total, which you will understand when you will do standard costing. Right now I am not referring to it. It is not so much important to understand right now, that we only need this 3 total. Whenever in exam you will be asked to prepare this statement, you will prepare in this format. You will have particulars for putting up the items, last year's 3 columns, current year, and then value for each growth, price and productivity effect will be computed in working note, and then total of growth, price and productivity to be taken. What you will get to know that in this last year profit, if you add this 3 growth, price and productivity effect, you will get current year profit. That's obvious thing to understand, which you can reconcile when you will put up the figures. When you are doing this analysis, we call this analysis as type 1. That is basically a type of question. Now you can do further analysis of this. There can be a step ahead of this analysis, where what we do is we try to find what is the reason of this change in volume. This change in volume comes due to two reasons. Why there will be extra sales? There will be two reasons for this. One is market size effect. Market size means industry has grown, industry size. Market size means industry size, so this means industry has grown. And another is market share effect. Another is market share. This means that you have done good marketing implementation, so you have got share of your competitors. Market share means it is coming from competitors. Size means the industry size has increased. Industry market size and market share. Are you getting it? Market size and market share. Size and share. Have you understood this? The breakup of this volume into this two will be given in the question. Say in our example, volume has grown by 500 units. So question will provide us that how much of this 500 units is coming from industry size and market share. So breakup will be given. Say maybe 400 and 100. 400 is from industry size and 100 is from market share. So question arises, how market share increases? How market share increases? Question arises, how market share increases? Question arises, how market share increases? So answer to that will be what? Market share increases by implementing some kind of strategies. It can be low cost strategy. It can be product differentiation strategy. Some different step you have taken. If nothing mentioned, let us assume that it has been due to product differentiation. Product differentiation means by improving the quality of the product. Now to improve the quality of the product, you need to buy your resources at a higher price, and then you can also sell it at higher price if you want. So we say when market share and price effect are combined together, when this and this combines, the total is called as product differentiation effect. Product differentiation effect is market share plus price effect. And there is another name for productivity which we call as cost leadership. Another name of productivity is cost leadership. That means you are trying to use minimum resource to produce a product, which basically is measured by quantity of input used. So we have industry size, share and price together is called as product differentiation, and productivity is also called as cost leadership. So type 2 is a further analysis of this statement, whereby this growth effect will be split into two parts. Whatever be the amount here in the growth effect will be broken into two parts as per the volume given in this breakup, and then share and price will be added to form product differentiation, and cost leadership will be nothing but productivity effect. So that is written in type 2, which is market size, product differentiation and productivity effect. So first criteria here is to split the growth effect into market size effect and share effect in the ratio given in the question. Okay, and then rewrite your just last line of income statement, last row, that is start in a format like this: last year's profit. You know that 3 items needs to be added to get the current year profit, but the items that would be added will have a different name now. Growth effect has been split into size and share. So first is coming size effect, and share effect together with price recovery is coming under product differentiation effect, And lastly, cost leadership is productivity effect. So result is your current year's profit. Got it? So if question is asking this, then you will prepare a statement like this. So to illustrate what I have been saying, I have a question which won't take more than 5 minutes. Please come to DJB question number 1. You write a reference here, DJB question 1. Here I am. DJB question number 1. Very easy. You see, in this question, the type 1 is already given. If you see, type 1 is already given. Type 1 format is already done. Everything has been done over here. This is your budget or last year. This is your actual or current year. You see, revenue, cost, operating income is given. Okay. So growth effect is there, price recovery and productivity is there. So type 1 is all done for you. So in cost, if you are seeing, there is answer given for all three: growth, price and productivity. That means this is a variable cost. Had it been a fixed cost, then you would have only the price effect. Now they are saying Y Limited sold 4 lakh boxes and 4,20,000 boxes in 16 and 17 respectively. So you can see quantity sold is 4 lakh here and 4,20,000 here. So there is a growth of 20,000 units. So this 1,40,000 is representing 20,000 units. Okay. Now during 2017, the market for cardboard boxes grew by 3%. If market has grown, this is growth in industry size. If market grows, we are part of market. So we should also grow. We are supposed to grow in tandem with the market, in same direction with the market. So market is growing by 3%. So by default, our 4 lakh should grow by 3%. So 3% of 4 lakh is 12,000. Then they are saying, and all other changes are due to company's differentiation strategy and productivity. So all other changes apart from market growth, if you see 3% of 4 lakh is 12,000. This is my market growth. And remaining is 8,000. This is my market share, which is coming due to company's differentiation and productivity. Alright. So compute how much of change in operating income from 16 to 17 is due to industry market size factor. Market growth is market size. Productivity is given already, that is cost leadership. And product differentiation means two things to be added, which is market share and price recovery. Also reconcile the profit of both years due to these factors. So let me just prepare the reconciliation statement. Last year's income is 10,80,000. To this I will add market size factor. So market size factor, I know that it is 12,000 units. Okay. The total of growth is 1,40,000, which I can divide into 12:8 ratio. 1,40,000 into 12 by 20. 1,40,000 is coming due to 20,000. So into 12 by 20. 12 is 60%. So 140 ka 60%. 84,000. Favorable. If this is favorable, this will be also favorable. Second, they are asking productivity. So productivity is already done. 58,000 favorable. You can check the solution also. It's all well given here. And last is product differentiation strategy. So this should comprise of two aspects. One is share. So share will be 1,40,000 into 8,000 by 20,000. 40%, which is 56. And this will be in inner column. After share, it is price recovery to be added here, which is 1,64,000. So if I'm adding this to 164 plus 56 is 2,20,000. Here it is also price recovery is also favorable. 2,20,000 is favorable. So now we can add all favorable. Favorable should be added, adverse should be subtracted to the profit. 1080, 84, 58, 220. You can check it's 1442, and it has to come because we have not done anything extra apart from just reclassification. So our sum is done. Question 1 is done. Type 1 is given. Type 2 is required. Type 2 is required. So type 1, just don't write here type 1 because type 1 is given here. From type 1 you just need to break the growth effect into two parts and reclassify to get the type 2. So you can check the answer here. It's all well written. You can check the workings. It's a bit complicated, written by institute. So I have copied here. You can simplify it also. Question 1 is over. Your homework is workbook question 1. So I am also writing here that you have to solve workbook question 1. In that workbook question, you will have to do type 1 as well as type 2, and that type 1 will also require to do all this variance computation. So do it carefully. If you have any queries, you can ask me. So workbook question 1 will help you to practice the variety, and DJB question 1 is the exam type question. So I will conclude this session today. We will continue tomorrow. Your homework is to do workbook question number 1, and of course to revise all the questions and all the notes of activity based costing. Keep revising. Don't just keep a chapter only when I am doing with you. You must continuously revise. Like today also, just flip few pages of activity based costing and see whether you have understood well or not. After 7 days, again open activity based costing for 5-10 minutes and see whether you remember at least key points or not. Then after 7 days, you again check out the questions of activity based costing and see whether you remember the structure of your answers or not. So this way, touch needs to be maintained with each and every chapter. That's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.